Help me, Jesus, these outtakes. Lord, have mercy. Trying to get that wig right. What's up, you guys? What's up? It's me again, your girl, M. Williams, licensed master stylist. Today, I want to just acknowledge that this is the month of May. It's actually the month that my husband was actually born. So his birthday is actually May the 19th. So happy birthday is coming up to him. But also, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So, you guys, let's talk really, really briefly about mental health. Um, and you guys, I was saying in the 11th grade, like when I was in the 11th grade, I was saying that I wanted to be a psychiatrist. Um, so I'm like very passionate about the study of like mental health, personality disorders, um, mental health, behavior disorders. I'm just very passionate about it, and I kind of study it on my own. I've never taken any actual courses or anything like that, or I haven't been to college for it or anything like that. I would love to, and probably still at some point will take some courses, but I've kind of just been studying it on my own, and I'm so passionate about it. I feel because you guys, I really love people, and I can remember as being a child and just always loving people, just loving people, love people, love people. But I really feel like when it comes to mental health, personality disorders, behavior disorders, I just think it's very, very interesting. I just don't think it's ever a dull moment. I think people's personalities, people's behaviors, the way that we all cope, and I'm a person too, so I'm speaking of myself as well. Just the way sometimes that we cope with things, sometimes our behavior, our response, sometimes, how we respond to things or how we react to things. I just personally feel like there's never a dull moment when it comes to, human behavior. The way that we can respond to things sometimes, it actually comes from, how we was raised, the home we were brought up in, and sometimes our responses may be healthy and sometimes they may be not healthy. And this is just me talking from the heart. I don't have anything written down or anything like that. Usually when I vlog, what makes a vlog to me so real and so tangible is because, I kind of speak from my heart. I don't have anything written down unless I'm talking about hair or something really detailed. But this right here is kind of true to my heart because I'm just very passionate. I wish I had a degree in mental health, because I feel like now it's just getting worse and worse. And so we're going to just talk a little bit because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I just really feel like a lot of people don't know about mental health or personality disorders or behavioral health or behavioral disorders. I really feel like a lot of people have heard of them but don't know about it. You may have a family member who may have, mental health or something like that, and you may not even know, what it is or what's the symptoms. That's what I feel. I feel like there's not enough information out here. Like you may see a commercial about Latuda or some other mental health medication, but I don't feel like on TV or on TV commercials or anywhere, I don't feel like there's enough information. So you can have a family member or a best friend, or you may be suffering from it yourself or experiencing it yourself, and you may have no clue what the symptoms are. For example, a practical example is you can have frequent urination or you can have a blurred vision, but you may not know that those are symptoms of diabetes. You know that you have the blurred vision. You know that you have the frequent urination, but you may not even know that those are some symptoms of diabetes. The same with high blood pressure. High blood pressure has certain symptoms too, a certain criteria and symptomatology. And you may be having like headaches every now and then. Your arm might hurt, your left arm or something like that. Those are symptoms and could be symptoms of high blood pressure, and you may not even know that you have high blood pressure, but you know that you have those symptoms. So I personally feel like when it comes to mental health and behavioral health, I feel like and I know that there are set symptoms according to the DSM-5. The DSM-5, which is the most current diagnostic manual that of diagnoses. And just a full quick disclaimer: I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I never went to school for it at all. It's just passionate to me because I just have a love for people, and I feel that's why I've always kind of been really intrigued by this, because sometimes people have certain personalities in the way that they react to things, but they have it's like it's a consistent pattern of behavior, and which makes them who they are. But and it's the way they respond to things, but they may not know, okay, this may be bipolar disorder, this may be borderline personality disorder, this may be narcissism, this may be histrionic personality disorder. And so just like anxiety, like some people may have anxiety where they just feel overwhelmed at times, where they kind of get in their head a lot. They kind of just like overthink things. And basically that's what anxiety is. I mean, everybody just naturally may have anxiety. You may be anxious about something, you may be overthinking it, or you may be like in your head about something. Maybe say, for instance, if you got an important test coming up, or you have an important meeting, or you have an interview, or you may have to conduct a meeting in front of a lot of people, and you may be kind of nervous and anxious about it, like ready for it to be over. So, everyone has anxiety, but when it goes like above and beyond, when it becomes kind of extreme, where it's at the forefront of your mind, you're overthinking, you're in your head, then it becomes, anxiety, and then you kind of overthink stuff, and then it can cause other problems like, stress and stuff like that. And it can cause like anxiety, it can cause panic attacks and other stuff. So, mental health is just meaning how we deal with stuff in our head, and sometimes there are diagnoses for it, and people sometimes may not want to acknowledge, this pattern of behavior. I know when it comes to human behavior, we can be like, okay, I know this is how I am or whatever, but you may not feel like there's some type of diagnosis from it. And to be honest, you guys, to know that there's a reason for the behavior that we have out here, and it's something that can help us, then by all means seek help than suffer. That's just how I feel. I feel like seeking help as opposed to suffering, because one thing about it is going to affect every aspect of your life. It can affect, your finances. It can affect your work, your job history. It can affect your health. It can affect your relationships, your marriages. It can affect, your child's life, or, it can affect, your parents' life. It can affect the marriage, it can affect every aspect of your life. So if we see this pattern of behavior in our lives, or in a family member's life, or in a friend's life, or co-worker's life, we definitely have to be cognizant of it and very sensitive and more aware. And I just feel like there's not a lot of information out here. So I'm going to drop some information down below, and that's just going to speak about anxiety, since I mentioned anxiety. And anxiety, like I said, that's normal to be anxious or to be fretful sometimes, or to be kind of in our head if we have some of those situations that I mentioned, like an interview, or you got to speak in front of a crowd. Who wouldn't be anxious of that? Even people that's been doing that forever, they still may be kind of anxious about it, ready to get it over with, ready to be done with it. But then when we overthink, and then to be honest, you guys, when we overthink a lot, at the end of the day, once we get up and speak and it's over, then we see that all that worrying and all that anxiousness was in vain. So we have to learn and find tools to, cope with that, to address that, to be cognizant of that, to be aware of that, and make sure that we don't be in self-denial. Because if we see things in our behavior or in our personality that can affect us in a negative way, whether it be, our job, our relationship, our marriages, any kind of way it can affect us negatively, or in our health, we need to be cognizant of it and aware of it, and we need to make sure we deal with it so that it won't affect our health and all the other things that I mentioned in a negative way. So self-denial is definitely not good, because when it comes to mental health, it's a progressive disease and it gets worse and worse over time. So it's best to, if you see this pattern of behavior in yourself, in a family member, in a child, in a coworker, if you see this pattern of behavior, meaning they continuously behave this way, then if you jot it down and you take note of it and become aware of it, then you may see that, okay, they have this pattern of behavior, or you may see that, okay, you have this pattern of behavior, and then do things to help. Just like if you had a headache, and then you see that you having this headache like every couple of weeks or something like that, you're going to do something about it. You're going to take an Advil. You're going to do something to try to help yourself. It's the same with mental health and personality disorders and stuff like that. So I don't want to just go across the gamut here. I just want to just stick on, anxiety, and make this a really, really brief video blog. But, again, if you feel like you may suffer from anxiety, mean that you overreact, it's normal to be in a situation where, it may be a death in your family, and you may, you have already dealt with a lot of trauma when it relates to death. Then of course you're going to overthink that, because you're going to feel like, okay, it seems like I'm just surrounded by death. So, in that instance, that's really, really going to traumatize you and affect you. So just be cognizant, be aware, and then try to do self-help. Like, one thing I always say, you guys, is we can't really help anyone else if we can't love ourselves. We can't really show love. It's hard to express what you don't know how to receive, or what you're not putting on yourself. Like, if you're not doing any kind of self-love, then it's hard to pour out of us what's not even in us. So self-love is a must. So self-love means, being real with yourself, not being in self-denial. It means being honest with yourself, being true to who you are, and just know that God made you who you are. And then if you see that you have anxiety, don't just be in your head and act like, okay, I'm not having anxiety, when you know that you have anxiety a lot, that you overthink things a lot, that you stay in your head a lot. It can turn into paranoia. It can turn into high blood pressure. It can really affect your health, because God wants us to cast all our cares on Him, because He cares for us. So this is just really brief. I'm going to drop some information down below about anxiety. Please don't forget that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health awareness. So, think of some things that could help you. If you deal with a lot of stress and anxiety, then do some research. There's plenty of research on YouTube, plenty of research online. You can ask Siri, you can ask Alexa, or you can get some counseling. I think they have counseling that you can do from home, or you can go in. Self-help is self-love. Self-help is self-love. So you guys, we really can't love anyone else if we don't learn how to help and love ourselves. So self-help is self-love. So always be thinking about how can I love myself so that I can extend love outward. You can extend love outward if you can pour love inward. Again, let's focus on anxiety on this video. I'm going to drop some information down below, some links. And then if you see some of that behavior in yourself, do things. There's so many things you can do to release, like take a hot bath, light some candles, put them around the tub, or either some of those little battery operated candles, put them around the tub, or put them on the sink, turn the lights off in the bathroom and just let the little candles illuminate the bathroom. Put some jazz on or some spa music, relaxation music. Take a hot Epsom salt tub bath or put some bubble bath in there. And just relax. Just download. Because there's so much going on in the world nowadays. We have to just download. So make sure you take time to download. And just don't always be on 10 where you just going all the time. Make sure you have time to pump the brakes and download. Read a book. Watch a good movie. Listen to some jazz music. Do something that's gonna do some self-love where you can put a big hug. You can give yourself a big hug and you can just download and pump the brakes, you guys. So thanks so much for watching. Again, I'm not a licensed psychiatrist or psychologist. I just love people. So I'm going to be putting some more information out here about mental health, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So make sure you take time to learn a little bit about mental health. Thank you guys. I hope you've been well. I hope you've been blessed. I hope you continue to be blessed. And be sure to be safe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on my next video.